Hello everyone and welcome back to another Movie Nights movie review. This is the first movie I've reviewed since Godzilla vs. Kong back in March, so sorry about that. It wasn't a conscious choice, just had a lot of stuff going on, but luckily we're in a position where I can start doing these again. Maybe I'll make like a mega video where I combine all the movies I missed and review them. Who knows? Depends on how lazy I'm feeling. But without further ado, let's get into today's movie that we're going to talk about. Today we are here to talk about Venom, Let There Be Carnage. This is the sequel to the 2018 Venom film and part of Sony's universe of Marvel characters. Tom Hardy, of course, plays Eddie Brock / Venom, both in this film and the previous film. The previous film was directed by Ruben Fleischer. This film was directed by Andy Serkis, who is also a very well-known actor, known for Gollum in Lord of the Rings, amongst many other things. So for those who don't know, I don't love the first Venom film. I mean, I don't think it's a terrible film, but it to me, it was just a mixed bag. You had some people trying to make one movie, other people trying to make another movie, and it just didn't flow very well. But the one thing that unequivocally worked in that film was Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock and Venom and their sort of silly, slapsticky relationship that they had going on there. And that carries over into this film, and it works in spades, and I think, again, it is the best part of the film. The good news about this film is that this fully embraces the wacky silliness that was touched upon in the first film, and I think that this movie really benefits from committing to what it is and just going full throttle into it. The story is also a lot more concise, and it doesn't have as much fat on it. The first movie, anything going on with Riot, Riz Ahmed's character, was just genuinely uninteresting and not happening. The villain in this film, Carnage, as a huge comic book fan, is something I've wanted to see on screen for a long time, especially seeing Venom and Carnage on screen together. And, being able to see it was really cool. Woody Harrelson did a really good job as the character. I wish that they would have done a little bit more with Carnage in the film, but like I said, the film's very concise. It's very committed to plot, story, moving forward, sometimes to its benefit, sometimes to its detriment. I think, like I said, I wish we would have got a little bit more time with Cletus, although we get this really beautiful animated sequence of kind of him talking to Eddie via a letter about his past, and you kind of get a sense that, they're cut from a similar cloth but followed very different paths, and I think that connection between the two was really interesting. Another great connection between Eddie Brock and Cletus Cassidy in this film is seeing how their respective symbiotes control or interact with the other. Eddie and Venom are very symbiotic, and that they both rely on each other, both need each other, and that's actually kind of at the heart of this movie, whereas Cletus Cassidy and Carnage is very parasitic. Carnage really doesn't have Cletus, it's hard to say best interest when he's a serial killer and they both like killing, but basically he could care less about the body that he's in. He has no respect for Cletus. He just is using Cletus to kind of fulfill his own mission of wanting the one thing they do have in common, which is to just wreak havoc and cause carnage on everyone and everything. Michelle Williams is kind of wasted again, although she does do a little bit more and actually has like a story purpose in this, and her character is seeing a new grown man named Dan. I think it's Dan the doctor, and he has a line in this movie that made me and my friends just crack up laughing. So that was another interesting dynamic to see how Eddie reacts to her moving on with her life and her new partner. Overall, I think the movie is also just a lot better helmed. Andy Serkis is a really good director, and especially with his past and dealing with motion capture and VFX, the VFX in this movie are insane, and the way that the live action interacts with the VFX are almost like you're seeing a visual effect, because obviously Venom's symbiote is not practical, but you get so caught up in Tom Hardy's performance with the interactive, and the CGI is so good that you're not even thinking about that it's a CGI creature. It's just another character in the movie, and being able to pull that off is no easy task. Overall, I think Venom Let There Be Carnage is a huge improvement over the first film, but however, I do think that a Venom movie still needs to find its footing a little bit. I think, you don't have to sacrifice great character growth, great story for fun, and I think both of these movies, to a certain degree, have done that. I think the first one did it a lot more. This one just kind of did surface level story things with, with the relationship with Eddie and Venom, and, everything in Eddie's life surrounding him. It touched upon it, but then it didn't really go in too deep. And I think that, you can still make a fun, silly Venom movie and do those things, which hopefully we'll get in the future. Oh, and by the way, You may have been hearing a lot of hype online. By the way, I'm not going to spoil anything. You may have been hearing a lot of hype online about the mid-credits sequence for this film. Believe the fucking hype. Oh my god. I freaked out. My theater freaked out. It is such a jaw-dropping, game-changing moment that is going to be talked about for a while. And, as time goes on, we can talk about what happened. And maybe I'll even do a spoiler discussion of this. Leave it in the comments if you'd like to see one. And, crazy, crazy stuff. Even if you hated the first movie, I would even tell you to go see this movie just to see the mid-credit scene. It is worth it. I promise you. But yeah, that's going to do it on my thoughts on Venom Let There Be Carnage. Oh, a grade. I do that. I'm probably going to give Venom Let There Be Carnage a B. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.